My friends, today is one of those rare days in American culture where the nation collectively exhales. Not in relief, but in disbelief. The Immortal One has fallen. Hulk Hogan. Yes, the Hulk Hogan, the red and yellow wearing, body slamming, flag waving, Trump endorsing icon has passed away. This isn't just a celebrity death, folks. This is an American archetype stepping off the stage. You might think he was just a wrestler. You'd be wrong. Hulk Hogan was America in the 80s. Hulk Hogan was optimism. Hulk Hogan was strength. And toward the end, Hulk Hogan became courage. And brother, did he go out a patriot? Let's go back. I don't care if you're 18 or 80. If you grew up with a television, you knew this man. Madison Square Garden. Iron Sheik. Camel Clutch. The moment Hogan broke that hold and stood up, that wasn't just wrestling. That was Reagan-era America getting back on its feet. People cried. Grown men in American flag tank tops wept like children. This guy didn't just lift Andre the Giant. He lifted the spirits of a nation. You remember the catchphrases? What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you? Pure testosterone. Pure Americana. No TikTok filters. No safe spaces. Just 24-inch pythons and moral clarity. Terry Bollea. That's his real name. Born in Augusta, Georgia. Played bass guitar before ever stepping into the squared circle. He wasn't some Ivy League legacy kid looking for clout. He was blue-collar. Bootstraps. Beef and freedom. And here's something they don't tell you at Yale. Millions of kids didn't need therapy because they had Hulk Hogan telling them to say their prayers and eat their vitamins. And that mattered. Oh, don't get me wrong. We're not going to sugarcoat it like the corporate media does with their fallen heroes. He had some very public lows. The Gawker nonsense. The personal failures. The racial slur scandal. But here's the difference. Hulk Hogan owned it. Apologized. Fought for redemption. You know what that is. That's character. Not perfection, but repentance. Unlike the folks on CNN who lie through their teeth and then give themselves a Peabody for doing it. Now let's talk about recent history, because this is where Hogan reminded America who he really was. It was the rally in Tampa, just days after the assassination attempt on Donald Trump in Butler. People were stunned, scared, unsure. And then Hulk Hogan shows up wearing his classic red and yellow, holding up the American flag like it was 1985 again. He walks up to the mic, leans in, and says, "Donald Trump is the only real American left in politics. And brother, I stand with him now more than ever." Boom. That was the leg drop heard around the world. And of course, the media melted faster than butter on a Florida sidewalk. You know what CNN did? They ran the headline. Disgraced wrestler supports dangerous populist. They couldn't even say his name. Hulk Hogan, the guy who taught a generation not to give up. But if he'd come out in favor of some drag queen story hour in Portland, they'd have built him a statue. It's disgusting. They hated him not because he was bad, but because he stood for America, strength, and Trump. And here's something you won't see trending on Twitter. In his final months, Hogan spoke openly about his Christian faith. He was spotted praying with veterans, attending non-denominational services in Clearwater. He wasn't selling a brand anymore. He was preparing his soul. And let me tell you, that matters more than any title belt. We talk a lot about legacies here. Well, this man knew he wasn't immortal in the flesh, but his values? That's the part that stays eternal. He gave boys permission to be men. In a culture trying to sissify masculinity, Hulk Hogan said it was okay to have muscles, to fight for something, and to mean it. He said men could lead their families, defend their country, and still cry during a Randy Savage tribute. Hogan taught us that manhood was a privilege, not a problem. And let's be honest, that's one reason why the left hated him so much. Here's the real kicker. We need Hulk Hogan now more than ever. Not in the ring. No, no. We need that spirit. We need the Patriot who waved the flag with no apology. We need the guy who could take a punch and stand right back up. We need the man who told evil, "You better say your prayers, brother." And you know what? That spirit lives on. It lives in Trump rallies. It lives in kids who grow up learning to pray, train, and stand tall. It lives in you, my friends. So today, we say goodbye to Hulk Hogan, not just the wrestler, not just the entertainer, but the symbol of a time when America still believed in heroes. Rest in peace, Hogan. You body-slammed the lies. You leg-dropped the darkness. And you gave every American kid something to believe in. And to the rest of us, train hard. Say your prayers. Take your vitamins. Believe in yourself. And never, ever, stop fighting for this country. Because if Hulk Hogan believed in it, it's worth saving. And do not forget to pray for the eternal rest of his soul. That's really all that matters now. Trust me, I know.